Principal Scientist in the Division of Vegetable Science at ICR IRI, New Delhi. And Dr. Sir earned his MSc from Rajasthan Agriculture University, Bikaner, and Sir obtained his PhD from IRI, New Delhi. Over the years, he has contributed extensively to vegetable crop improvement, particularly cauliflower, broccoli, and a few works in carrot and leafy vegetables. During his research work, he has released several improved varieties, particularly that is from Sir previously worked in Central Inland Agriculture Institute. He released there Lal Marsha and Harita in Amaranthus, as well as in Broad Dania in Ericnium Potidum, and Poi selections and Indian spinach red color varieties, as well as Pusa purple broccoli, Pusa Pratik carrot, and Pusa bok choy 1. And also Sir has contributed n number of cauliflower hybrids, namely the Pusa cauliflower hybrid 101 and 102, and Pusa cauliflower hybrid 3, and Pusa snowball hybrid 2. And moreover, Sir has developed a lot of valuable genetic stocks, particularly the PR2 in cauliflower with resistant to downy mildew, as well as Carry Bridgal 1 that is resistant to bacterial wilt. Apart from varietal development, Sir also developed a lot of innovative technologies, particularly rain shelter technology for vegetable cultivations in Andaman Nicobar Islands, and grafting on wild brinjal along with improved growing media for managing the bacterial wilt, and in vitro screening techniques for identifying the root knot nematode resistance in carrot. And also Sir has he is mainly developed CMS lines in Indian cauliflower and tropical broccoli and tropical cabbage, as well as the molecular markers for detecting CMS systems in Indian cauliflower. For his remarkable scientific contributions, he has awarded many awards, particularly ICR Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad Award for outstanding research in tribal farming regions, and Best Scientist Award from Central Inland Agriculture Institute, and Best Research Paper Award, and also DST SERP Early Research Career Award. And also Sir is Fellow of Indian Society of Noni Science. And we are privileged to have such a distinguished scientist with us today. And with his words, I invite Dr. Sarang Singh Sir to kindly deliver these lectures. And also, Sir, in this training, we have around 200 participants. Out of these, 60% participants are women and 40% are men. Sir, and these participants include professors, associate professor, assistant professor, and some PhD scholars and some MSc research scholars also. This is the small introduction, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Selva, and thank you for giving me and this opportunity to interact with this large group. This 200 is really a big group which we are giving training in this single platform. Otherwise, maximum times we have 30 or 20 like that. Thanks to you and the organizers who are collaborating with you for having this large number in this platform. So thank you again to you and the other members who are organizing this training for giving me this opportunity. Thank you again. So now I will start my stateway presentation because already I think we are 15 minutes late and the time allotted to me. So my topic is strategic breeding and high-tech production of cole crops for premium markets, premium protected markets. So in this one, we will be going to see that what IRI has developed varieties in different cole crops, or you can say at larger that how many varieties are available from the Indian public institutions for the farmers, for Indian farmers particularly. And that will be including both the hill terrains like Himachal Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, and some parts of Uttarakhand and all that, and the plains also like North India and all, and some of the southern India also. So like that entire India is covered by developing these different kinds of varieties. We will begin discussing that also. Besides that, some new traits also we will try to find out. We will discuss on that part also. We will be also covering the protected kind of cultivations or high-tech interventions, what are there in these crops that needs attention of the youngsters who are there participating in this one. So that will also be covered in this one. Okay. Some more may be there, may not be in the slides, but we will discuss that also. Okay. So this is my submission in this presentation. The good thing about these cole crops is that they all are originated from the single source, and that is helping to understand them scientifically, as well as you can say that cultivation perspective. So we can take them very much easy, that if one crop we understand properly, we can understand the another member of the same family also. Like a cabbage cultivation, somebody knows how to do it, he can handle the other members of this group. So this is beauty about this thing. Okay, so there are some challenges also related to this, because these all are evolved from the same parent, wild cabbage, and they all are, you can say that they are crossable also. For commercial production, there is no challenge. You can produce side by side, but when we are going for seed production, we need kind of some kind of measures, because they are crossable also. So contamination is one of the reason for that. When we are going for isolations and all that, we take care of that point. So from this slide, I just wanted to make that the what are the major cole crops are here. You can see I have listed cabbage, cauliflower. These two are very important crops in the country, because cabbage is the fifth position and cauliflower is the sixth position in the Indian vegetable production. Okay, and broccoli, particularly another member from this same family, is coming up particularly in the areas where cities and the areas which are known for some kind of problems, because this is very health beneficial crop. Okay, it contains glucosinolates, particularly glucoraphanin, and that is one of the strong anti-cancer compound, and that's why it is getting much attention of the people, particularly in India, which is becoming a which is facing a alarming situation of that kind of problems. So my point is that this family is known for glucosinolates, anti-cancer compounds. Besides, it have minerals, it have vitamins, particularly vitamin C, to some extent A in some of the crops like kale, and that you can say some other metabolites also, flavonoids and dietary fibers also. So nutritionally also this crop is important. Economically also this family is important, because it is covering the fifth and sixth two important positions. And among exotics, this broccoli is number one, and second we can say that kale is also coming at a large scale because of the leafy types, no flowering in plains, so in kitchen gardens and all that, that is also coming very nicely. This crop, you can see that maybe you are 200 members from different parts of the country, and I think none of you has not tested these crops. Why? Because these crops are pan-India in nature now. Though they were winter types, they were from particularly Mediterranean, then they went to Europe, they evolved, then it came to different parts of the world and including India. You might have read that in 1822, Jameson brought in India in Saharanpur, UP. From there, it was cauliflower evolved. So simultaneously, other crops also came in India. Now they acclimatized here. We are producing seed, most of them, either in hills or in plains. So you can see that these crops are in Indian diets and Indian farms. Okay, so they are contributing to that point. Besides, they are having export potential also. When you are talking about the premium market or premium product, you are going to talk about the in India also, because now we have premium price givers also. You can say that people are there who can afford a high price, provided they are given good quality produce. What is happening that our most of the products, when we go to market, we are doing sorting out. Those who are purchasing vegetables and fruits, sometimes you will see that you have to sort out, you have to select some of the fruits from the that seller, and then you are picking and then you are putting for weighing. So why that is required? Because the product is not in uniform stage, product is not of the proper quality as matching the requirements. So avoiding that kind of things, if that is not available, anybody can pay a little bit higher price also. For that, you need some kind of premium products, or you can say that good quality produce. So for that, either for export purpose or for domestic premium markets, you need good quality. So how to attain that good quality? We have so many things for that purpose. Okay, we know that improved varieties are there, good growing practices are there. We know that low insecticide, pesticide protocols are there through the IPM, IDM, all that are there. Then proper grading, sorting, so many things are there. So my point is that We have to follow that kind of things in these crops. Then we can harness the potential of exports. China is producing the first in the cabbage and cauliflower, both the crops. That they are having advantage of the climate, and they are having advantage of their, you can say, that facilities. Okay. So, and well established production system before us, they have started it. So that is advantage on that part. But we are also picking very strongly, and we are almost reached to the level, you can say, hardly only some point million tons difference is there. I think 0.1 or maybe 2 million tons, or 1 or 2 million tons difference is there between China and India. Both are at par. In cabbage, of course, they are a little bit higher. So my point is that, but they are not consuming only, they are exporting also, and they are earning huge amount from the exports. And in India also, we have good opportunities because we have typical southern climate and we have typical temperate climates in Jammu Kashmir, in our Himachal Pradesh, in our these areas. So when summers are there, extreme summers are there, we can produce on our hills and we'll supply in plains. But during extreme winters, we can produce in the northern plains, or you can say during the winter season, and we can export to Europe. What China is doing, because Europe at that time remain freezed. So during the freezing condition, either they produce in tunnels, hot tunnels, and that kind of structures, or they use the stored one, or they import actually. So to harvest that kind of markets, we can utilize that thing. During summers, North India is the entire, or South India is also a big market for the temperate region. And then some of the tropical countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, these are also good markets for Indian products, particularly which are coming from the summer season, from the hill region. Either maybe Leh Ladakh, or maybe upsides of the Jammu Kashmir, maybe Himachal Pradesh, maybe Uttarakhand and all that. Just a minute. Sir, lecture de raha tha. Hello? Okay. So I mean to say that these are important crops for both domestic market, for export market. They are having pan-India approach. Our cultivation is year-round. Why year-round? Because we have varieties which can grow in different climates and all that. Then they are fitting to diverse farming systems also. Suppose somebody is working on the farming system or any kind of integrated farming system or all that, these crops are fitting to that also, for crop diversification also. Why? Because duration is very short. Around 60 days is enough for, 65 days are enough for one crop. And sometimes maybe 80 days. So that is very short span. You can say less than 3 months we can harvest the crop. We can fit anywhere and we can harvest very good yield. You can say 300 quintals or 400 quintals can be harvested from 1 hectare area. That is the potential of these crops. Then last thing is that these are high responsive to technological interventions. Like some crops, you can say that if you rank the crops, suppose you are ranking the amaranth or garden pea and some kind of legumes and all that, they have the real potential. But if you intervene technology in tomato, in cole crops and all that, you will be going to, or brinjal and all that, you will be going to have better returns. Why? Because these are responsive to that kind of things, maybe to the earliness, maybe to the uniformity, maybe quality, maybe yield. So these all the advantages shows that these crops are fitting to the premium markets, fitting to the export markets, fitting to the high returns farming and all that. Okay. And if you know one crop cultivation, we can do other crops also easily. This is related to that advantage. You can say these are different crops. You can say broccoli, cauliflower, knoll cole is there, Brussels sprout is there. Sometimes we call it mini cabbage, and kale is there. So these are different crops which are common in Indian markets. I hope my slides are moving. Then climatic requirement, where we can produce. You can see that in these crops, climate is very important because some of them are very typically thermosensitive crops, particularly your cauliflower, your broccoli. You can see that the cauliflower can be grouped into 4. It forms curd from 10 to 27 degrees Celsius. It does not mean that same variety can produce at 10 degree and same variety can produce at 27 degree. No. For that, there are different varieties, there are different genotypes. So for that purpose, we made 4 groups. You might have read in the cauliflower, there are 4 maturity groups, particularly for the temperature requirement for curd formation. Okay, I think that will be listed in somewhere in the coming slides. Then in cabbage also, you can see that there is 15 to 20 degrees Celsius is ideal, but some varieties can tolerate up to 30 degree also. So this is mean temperature actually, not maximum or minimum temperature that is required here. In case of broccoli, 10 to 20 degrees Celsius. So what this temperature tell us? You can say in some of the crops like rice, like wheat and some pulses and all that, you have seasons. Okay, because you need a larger area, larger production area and all that. So you have to follow that one because they are season specific. But here these are temperature specific crops. So you can take advantage of this temperature range in any region, and you can plan your crop so that when this crop is attaining 10 to 8 or to 12 leaves, that is required for a sensing the temperature factor and receiving the stimuli. So if that is meeting, it will be going to form curd in case of cauliflower, head in case of cabbage, and in broccoli. So my point is that anywhere in the India or anywhere in the world, wherever this temperature range is available for sufficient time, so these crops can be cultivated, or these crops can be first tested and then can be grown for a larger scale. So it depends on this particular temperature range. If this is available, we can plan for production system. Okay, so that is good thing. And if we are going for protected cultivations also, so this temperature range is important for that point of view. Okay, so you can see that I have written some lines here. Thermosensitive crops I have discussed in the individually also. In snowball groups, 4 weeks growth is sufficient for transformation from vegetative to curding phase. So that is also written that how much, as I was talking about, 8 to 12 leaves are sufficient to receive the stimuli of temperature for transition from vegetative to curding phase. So that is important for your cauliflower also, for cabbage also, for broccoli also. Okay, so that is important for that purpose. Okay, then coming to soil, you can see soil is in most of the India, the soils are good for cultivation of these crops. And particularly the areas which are little bit saline also, in that areas these crops can come well also. So it means that they are allowing to grow in a larger soils, larger extent of the soil, maybe saline, maybe little bit alkaline also, provided some boron availability is a issue, so we have to manage that one. Otherwise it can be grown. We can grow in little bit acidic soils also, but there will be some problems, particularly magnesium deficiency, molybdenum deficiency, and some kind of problems like club rot may be coming. Like northeast India, where the acidic soils are there, particularly where the heavy rains are there, salts are washing. But so in that coastal areas, Kerala and all that, so there these kind of problems appear. So we have to take care of the nutrient requirement, all that, and we can grow these crops. Okay. So in India, we can say that there is no big limitation on these crops for the temperature side and for the soil type. So we can grow them, provided we are very much cautious about the selection of the time and very much clear about the soil requirements, nutrient requirements, and all that, and relations to the soil availability, nutrient availability in the soil. Okay. So as I was talking about, these crops are thermosensitive, and they are grouped in different groups. And of that, particularly your cauliflower I was talking about, there are 4 groups. Number 1 is the early group, that E means early, M means mid-early, L means mid-late, and L means late or snowball group. Okay, so this is their ideal sowing time, particularly in northern Indian conditions. So this may not fit to the hill region. Okay, for hills, you have to find out that you have to like June, July, August is sowing time for winter season, main crop, so that when you are transplanting in August end or September, so September, October, 2 months, it will get sufficient foliage growth. And after that, there will be snowfall or very low temperature. At that time, it will remain in vegetative stage. And when the temperature starts rising after January, so they will start forming your curd. So that is your snowball, or that is for that main season of the crop. But now you can see that Katrine station of IRI is working to grow cauliflower and cabbage and all that in summer season also. So what they are doing, they are raising seedlings in June or July also, and they are transplanting in you can say July or August, and then they are harvesting before winters come. Before that, they are harvesting crop also, and sometimes March April is also sowing. So you have to decide that when the temperature range in the previous slide is available, that at that time we can do sowing or transplanting in a hill region. Otherwise, in plains we have 4 maturity groups. Okay, so in early group we have June for sowing. We need higher seed rate here. So you can see that early 500 to 750 grams is required because temperature is very high. In June you can see original these crops are winter type, but high temperature does not allow them to germinate very well. So germination is remain low, then seedling survival remain an issue. So we are using higher seed rate. Otherwise, in normally we take 300 to 500 grams. And if the temperature is high during the July month and August month, so we take around 42 days seedlings for transplanting. Otherwise, 30 days is good for cauliflower. Spacing also I have written here. In early, we are putting closer spacing so that cud size will be small. So we can harvest more number of cuds because one plant will be giving one cud. So that can be harvested so that more number of cuds per unit area. It means that we can get a sufficient quantity of produce. Otherwise, if you do wider spacing, plant will remain that size only, and it will be yield will be less. So that's why spacing should be less in early group and good in, or you can say that it should be 60 to 45 in mid or late groups. Okay. Regarding cabbage also, you can say early, mid, and late. We have described that also. But in cabbage, you can see that usually we talk about early, mid, and late based on the days required for maturity. Okay, this is for planting purpose of view. We can raise July to August like that also. And in cabbage we have another group also, which varieties which maturing early means less than 75 days they are taking after transplanting, they are called early, and which are taking more than 85 we call them late. Okay, based on the maturity time, how much it takes. Okay, in broccoli also, kohlrabi also, Brussels sprout, kale, all these are winter season crops. Typically winter season crops including kohlrabi, Brussels sprout, and kale, they can be grown during the entire winter season. I have mentioned here how much seed requirement is there. Okay. Then coming to transplanting and spacing, as I was talking about, 4 to 5 leaves are sufficient. Spacing also we have mentioned. One thing I want to tell you that normally what people are doing, they are doing on the flat beds. On flat field they are doing, after that they are putting irrigation. So that is not a desirable practice, particularly in waterlogging areas or where the water is an issue. Besides that, where the diseases is an issue like black rot or some kind of downy mildew, or you can say that alternaria is problem. So in flat bed is not desirable. So what we suggest, it should be better to go on raised bed. Okay, maybe single row on a single bed, or maybe 2 rows, and then is a furrow. So you can say that 2 rows on a bed, and then furrow, then 2 rows, then bed. So that is the ideal system for these crops. So that should be followed here. Okay, and it should be done in evening hours and all that. After that, planting that irrigation should be given. So these are common practices out there. So what is advancements in that, in the traditional practices? Because in India, or you can say that most of the countries which are in the South Asia, mostly we do the manual transplanting and all that. But many countries has gone far ahead. They are using now different kind of mechanization in the transplanting. So this you can see that this technology ensure uniform planting, depth spacing. So many advantages are there for that purpose. So you can say that Korea and all that, they are Japan, they are using advanced tools and techniques for transplanting. So we also have good scope for that. Earlier it is said that, or nowadays one thought of the scientists say that India is having small holdings, mechanization is not fit for that. So I want to say here is that we are not using a big trucks here. We are using small transplanters that can be accommodated in small farms. That will save the time, that will save the prices, but labor cost also. And best thing is that in one day itself it can be done. In one half of the day, this much of area can be done, which will be done otherwise 2 or 3 days. So it means uniformity can be assured by this method in the time of the transplanting, and that will lead to the time in harvesting also. There are so many advantages for this one, and these are customized tools, so they are having better scope in Indian conditions also for the small farms as well as big farms also. Okay. Then coming to the fertilizer requirements and all that, you see normally what we say that normal practices through the broadcast basal dose, then broadcasting or basal placements. So that pent placements. So what is the requirement? Around 125 kg of nitrogen, 60 to 100 kg of phosphorus, and 20 to 50 kg of potash per hectare is required. Some amount of the molybdenum and borax is also required, like in case of molybdenum, where deficiencies are there, particularly acidic soils and all that, 500 gram foliar sprays, or you can say that basal dose, and 10 to 15 kg of borax is required, particularly the soils having high pH. Okay, and then there is some schedule is there with respect to the manures and chemicals we have mentioned here. That first application, second application, third application. So these are we have mentioned here. So you can see this practice is specific for these crops. On what basis it is there? We have seen that how much crop uptake actually. Suppose 16 ton cauliflower per hectare, how much it will be going to take up? 15 tons of the cabbage, how much it will be going to take up from the soil? So what is uptake level? What is availability in the soil? So based on that we decide. So this much of regressive analysis or planning nobody does. Nobody do. So we just make a blanket recommendation for a particular area based on few experiments that this is the requirement, as I mentioned in the previous slide. Okay. So based on that, we can see that there are some improved versions also there, like vermicompost, all that. So for organic farming and all that, we suggest so many things for that purposes also. So there are maybe some advantages on that part also, green manuring and all that, vermicompost. So we have discussed that thing also. So my point is that the current level of the recommendations in most of the country from the SAUs, from the ICRs is based on the few field experiment basis. And that is covering the how much uptake is there, how much soil is having. So based on that, but it may vary from farm to farm. So for that, the government has launched a soil health scheme, the soil health card scheme. So people should take advantage of that one and then decide this one. So then second thing is that this blanket recommendation sometimes does not go very well also. Why? Because in some areas there may be heavy rain, in some areas there may be not that much of. So leaching losses are also vary from one field to another field. Suppose one farmer's field is on upland, having good soil, another farmer is having low land, having poor soil. So definitely sandy kinds of soils. These kind of variations are there in our Indian terrains. So you can see that blanket recommendation will not fit for both the farms. So that's why it is important to know that what is the soil health status of your farm, and then or any farm you are suggesting, or you are taking care of any farm of that, what is the status and what uptakes ratios are there. So based on that you recommend their requirements. Okay, so that is there. And the best thing is that you can see these are the recommendations as I was talking about. You can see that AICRP has done some kind of exercise. They have taken different varieties. They have recommended different levels of nutrients and all that. And these are the centers. They have covered in almost entire country actually. You can see different varieties of cabbage, broccolis and all are there. But as again I was mentioning, these are based on the research farms and some selected fields on farmers field only. But this is not very much you can say perfect approach for that purpose. Then again, very important thing is that as I was talking about, nutrient use efficiency is a big issue in crops, particularly in cereals and all that. We have heard from long back they have started thinking of this crop because that crops are ruling the Indian, you can say, agriculture. So they are using maximum amount of the nutrients and all that. But vegetables are also very much important now, coming on a larger area, and their nitrate content is affecting our health also. Okay, so from that point of view, you can see how much nutrient use efficiencies are there. So you can see that where we need interventions. One thing I was mentioning about the nutrient soil health cards you should have. Then how much uptake by the plant, that data is fit, that data is available already in the Google and everywhere it is available. Then how much it is available in the soil, how much uptake is there, you can find out the gaps, then you can decide the doses. Then in dosage also, you have to find out what are the efficient ways to deliver the nutrients in the soil. So for when you talk about the efficient use of the nutrient delivery systems, then you talk about the efficiency also. And in that efficiency, you can say that I give little stress on the potassium because our Indian soils are a little bit good in potassium. We give emphasis on the some emphasis on the phosphorus. Once you give the basal dose, there may not be a big issue after that. But the biggest issue with nitrogen, because you have to give 3 times. Okay, and then efficiency is also low. As I was talking about leaching losses and all that, where it happens mostly in case of nitrogen only. So that is a issue. So here you can see that in some of the crops it is very low. Okay, and you can say that global nitrogen use efficiency of crops ranges from 50 to 80%, value ranging from region to region. And you can say in Europe it was 42% to over 60%. And in some of the crops you can see it is around 46 to, and you can say that in vegetables it is around 14% only. So this is very big issue. Whatever we are applying, whether that is giving to the plants, that is going to the plant, that is a big issue. And for that we need to improve this efficiency also. So then how to increase that one? Just I made some kind of you can see that slides that may be not fitting to discuss in this class. So you can see that these are different production practices through which we can increase the efficiency. So if see your high-tech interventions or high-tech production system does not include the protected cultivation only. You are in protected cultivation. In my perspective, you are just covering the environment only, the temperature factor, air movement, and all that. But another side of the protected cultivation in the root zone. So in that also you have to provide the nutrients to the plant in a very protected zone. You can say that you give a protected sphere for the root zone to uptake the nutrients. On that angle, you have to think on that part also. And there the nutrient use efficiency come in the picture. So you can see for that purpose, we have different production practices. Okay. So you can see that I have listed here optimizing nitrogen application rate based on the crop demand. As I stressed in the previous selection of the adapted crop varieties, controlled or slow release fertilizers, combined use of organic and chemical fertilizers, as I was talking about, vermicompost, nature green manuring, and all that. Placement of fertilizers very important. Then planting density, spacing, plasticulture system, fertigation, timing. Fertigation, you can see that fertigation is very important for nutrient use efficiency and the giving the fertilizers with your drip system. Okay. And the timing of application to synchronize with crop uptake demands. So critical requirements and all that stages are also very much important for that purpose. Then precision farming, grafting. So these things are there which can increase the nutrient use efficiency. So if we take them very precisely, very carefully, definitely we will be going to tackle the nutrient requirement also. And this is, you can see this is very important for the vegetable crops because nutrients decide your quality. If your nutrient status is not proper in the soil, definitely the quality of the produce will be not proper. Maybe perishable, maybe not good taste, and so many things will be going to happen. So best nutrition give the best plants. One of the that requirement for the superior quality is the best nutrition to the soil. Okay, so for that purpose it is there. So in that line, you can see that in some of the crops, like in case of just one example I got from California fertilizer guidelines for broccoli, what they are doing, you can University of California, what they are doing, they have decided this kind of, they developed this kind of softwares. Okay, a farmer can put his soil test report or leaf analysis report and all that, and then he can plan that how much pre-plant nitrogen required, how much starter is required, at what seasons it is required. So like nitrogen, phosphorus, potash, so all this comes in that picture. So this is based on the, you can see that if a farmer, why we are not using soil health card? So once everybody made it, most of people made it as per the government's guidelines and support. But now people are not, they are not using it properly. One of the reasons that how they use it, in which software they put the data, then what will be the recommendation? So that next gap is limiting. So some of you can take that challenge and plan this kind of thing so that any farmer can put the data, and for that crop how much uptake is there, so how much leaf analysis is there, that is uptake, and all that data is available, so they can decide that when that farmer need to give up. So that is very important requirement for the country. I think that is missing, and that's why we could not use that soil health card properly. That is we can get clue here. Then second thing comes is the water. Okay, first is nutrient. Then second, the water. So water in these crops, you can say generally what we recommend that 12 irrigations for cauliflower and almost 12 irrigations for your cabbage also. And similarly for other crops also, because at 7 days or 8 days interval, we give this. And sometimes when the winters are prolonged, we can extend this duration. We can go up to 15 days also. But you can say that keeping the plant very good stage and keeping the every stage at the time or good quality produce, we need to give good amount of water. Okay, not excess also and not less also. So that is very important for that purpose. So there are different ways to doing that one. You can say that flooding and all that we are doing, and there are different irrigation methods also, like drip irrigation, sprinkler systems are there. So you can see that your drip irrigation system is the one of the best way to save the water also, to save the labor also, and to you can say that proper utilization for the good growth and yield also, you can say. Okay, so that is having high water use efficiency. Okay, so in this one you can say that in the previous slides we have discussed so many things, so some are here also in that is matching to the high product, that high tech horticulture also, because what we do in high tech horticulture, we stress on precise production techniques, we stress on the efficient use of inputs through appropriate time and appropriate quantity. Okay, and that will be going to our increase the yield and quality. So both the nutrients as well as your quality of the water and that how much amount we are giving, when we are giving, so that is deciding, that is contributing to that factor also. Okay, so that coming to some of the slides are not required here. Okay, coming to your smart horticulture, you can see I just put one slide here to support that things. You can see that as I was talking about California University, one of the picture. See, in our Indian horticulture, globally, horticulture has moved to stage 4. Particularly, you can talk about Netherlands and all that, so many advanced countries. Okay, so in that you can say everybody knows that Rajni's movie, something like that 2.0 also there. Something is there, na? I don't know what is that, but you can say that in horticulture also there are 4 stages. How many of you know? I don't know. In that one, what we do, we have very you can say that a smart kind of horticulture that is employing your you can say that emerging technologies. Okay, AI, new generation breeding. So these things, or blockchain, you can say. So these are things, the synthetic proteins, nanotechnology. I think it is yeah, such as robotics, nanotechnology, synthetic proteins, cellular agriculture, gene editing technology, AI, blockchain, machine learning. So these are part of agriculture 4.0. And most of these technologies are also part of the horticulture also. So what makes agriculture different from horticulture? We take out the horticultural crops and make a group that is horticulture. So we apply these technologies to horticulture, and that becomes horticulture 4.0. That is improved version of horticulture 3. In that we are dealing with biotechnology, computing, and electronic products. Whatever you can say sensor-based applications and all that, or automation of the greenhouses and all that comes in horticulture 3.0. And before that, some kind of breeding design, some kind of mechanization were there, that is 2.0. Then earlier we had only 1.0, mostly human based. So in our country also we have 1.0 also, to some extent 1.2. Very rarely we have 3.0, and almost we are not entered in 4.0 in any farm or somewhere. Okay, so my point is that the horticulture has moved along. Forget about my presentation. You can see that this kind of developments has happened in your horticulture, and where we are, you can think about this particular sector. Okay, in agriculture also. Okay, so coming to the next slide, you can say that you can see one of the farm is how they are managing it. So you can say that data analysis and all that, cloud computing and everything, so many things are there here. So expert advice, wisdom, microclimate facilities, computer and network, new generation mobile communications, blockchain, new generation breeding, so smart sensors, cloud computing, big data, internet of things. So many things are there. So when we integrate all the things, it becomes a high-tech horticulture. Here, just humans enter occasionally in these kind of structures, and whatever produce, everything is done by the, you can say that some kind of machines or some kind of sensors, and the product come out that being graded and all that. So these kind of things is required in our country also, particularly for export purposes and all that, or tapping the premium prices in the country. Okay, so that things are there, and these crops, cole crops and all these vegetable crops, they respond to that kind of things also. Okay, so coming to, then I will be coming, these are so many things are there. Coming back to my presentation, I just wanted to have 1 or 2 slides on the high-tech horticulture in between, otherwise in last sometimes presentation does not go, so I just put them in before. So regarding to support the Indian vegetable production system, particularly for these crops, we have produced a good number of varieties, and they are, you can say, Pusha Meghna, Ashwini, Kartiki, Pusha Kartik, Shankar. These are early groups actually. Their sowing can be done in, you can say, June, July months, and they are ready in September, October, November month when the prices are very high in the plants. Then we have in mid group also Pusha Hybrid 2, Pusha Sarad. These 2 varieties are there. In case of one hybrid, as Dr. Shelo was talking about, 101 ASI based, very good quality hybrid, you can say, for mid October to mid November maturity period. So this can be taken up, this can be tested in different parts of the country, particularly where the temperature range is this much, very high temperatures there, it grows very well. Like in different parts of the country also, so many varieties are also there. For mid-late, we have Sukti and Postjar 2 varieties. Then you can say Snowball group comes, that is for hill region, for seed production and for the commercial production also, for plains. So these varieties produce very good curds in the plains also, particularly late season. Okay, you can see that February or March month, they are ready to harvest. At that time, it can be harvested. And these are the different varieties. You can see Snowball K1, KT22 are the open pollinated varieties. Then Snowball Hybrid 1, Pusha Snowball Hybrid 301 and Hybrid 2. So these are also there. They are mostly CMS based hybrids. Okay, in case of cabbage also, we have good number of varieties. Golden Acre, Pusha Mukta, Pride of India, September Agati, Pusha Cabbage 1. These are also there. In 81 and 82, 2 are also more hybrids are there from the Katran station. We have a good number of varieties in broccoli also, because this crop is coming very well. So Pusa IRI has developed, Delhi Center has developed Pusa Purple Broccoli 1, and Palam Samriddhi, Palam Vichitra, Palam Kanchan, these are from the, you can say, Palampur Agriculture University, and Pusa KTS 1 from the Katran station. Okay, so these are varieties in support of the Indian farmers we have. So in Nolkol also good number of varieties are also there. These varieties are very important for the beginners actually. They need not to roam here and there for the seed and all that, because sometimes the beginners purchase very high cost seeds. They are not able to grow the seedlings. They lose the seed, and sometimes they are not able to grow the crop properly. So in that case, OP varieties or the public sector varieties and all that are meeting to that requirement, because they are very cost effective varieties and they can have better adaptability, so they can be taken up. You can see this is the KGMR. These are the T1 and T2 hybrids are there in cabbage. So this is red cabbage is also there. So as I was talking about, for specialty markets and all that, we have red cabbage hybrid 1 and red cabbage 5 is also there, open pollinated variety. So they can be taken up. As I was talking about broccoli, rich in glucoraphanin and anthocyanins also. So glucosinolate plus anthocyanin, 2 antioxidants are there, and very good for microgreen purpose also. Okay. So then coming to the what kind of interventions we can take in this one, you can say one of the very big requirement of the seedlings. Many of the farmers, they are not able to grow seedlings in June month, because they are putting more stress on their seedlings of the paddy and all that. So when some area is left or something, they need some crop for their plants. At that time, the time has already passed. So they go here and there to find out some seedling sellers. So they go for that purpose, and they get very high price seedlings. So this sector is coming at very big scale actually. Production of the high quality nurseries actually in vegetable crops, including these cole crops. Okay. So that is giving advantage to the youngsters also to develop this kind of models, and farmers also for timely availability of the seedlings. So this can be taken up. Then soilless culture or hydroponic system also. This is not very you can say very perfect for these crops, but you can say they can be grown. These crops can also be grown in hydroponic system also, in vertical gardening system also. They are also responding well, particularly your broccoli and cauliflower. Okay, particularly in areas suppose in southern India, broccolis are transported either from the hill region, so it does not have so much long shelf life. So in there also, if somebody is doing you can say protected cultivation, providing that kind of temperature. So definitely it can be grown in hydroponic system also and vertical gardening system also. Somebody can visit to Kajri Jodhpur Center also in IRI also, and that in Kajri I have seen that this crop is grown very well on that part. Then second thing, so the most important challenge comes in these crops is the use of pesticides and that insecticides, pesticides. So in quality aspects, you can see that there are four important aspects in the vegetable quality, and in that one is the pesticide residue. Second is how your microbial load is there. So that is again how much it is there. So you can, and then you talk about your anti-nutrients and all that. So then you can see that so many bird and animal waste and also there. So if these things are there, so we have to take care of that thing. So in case of pesticide residues, one of the big challenges is that how to reduce that one. So good thing is that most of insect pests attack these crops are of bigger size. So they are not able to enter in this mess, this kind of nets. So once the crop is ready to, you can say that once if we are growing it, so we can cover in small nets and we can produce the insecticide or pesticide free crops for the good markets. As I was talking about vertical farming, hydroponic system also, these crops comes very well. So this can be taken up advantage of that also. Then I was talking about high density planting. So if we meet up the nutrient requirements, we can meet up the water requirement. So we can go for that also. But high density does not mean that extremely high density. In that case, these crops will not form the proper head or proper product for the market. Then it will becomes very lengthy and will not produce proper. So you have to retain a particular spacing level also. That is important. Coming to the production, that production point of view, as I was talking about, a lot of pests are attacking these crops. You can see size of the pest, very bigger size except cabbage aphids. So you can see that these insects are not able to enter in the protected structures and we can grow them. Okay, there are so many diseases also there. So as I was talking in the beginning also, you have to take care of your soil pH. If you take care of your soil pH, you can manage club rot, you can manage your, you can say that your bacterial diseases and all that. Okay, so coming to, you can say that this mechanization part is also there for you can say that planting and all that purposes, or post harvesting and all that. So in that purpose, you can say drone technology is also used. I'm not going on that part, but you can see that how robotics or how that your machines are being used. So just one example of this broccoli, you can say. So in broccoli, based on the images captured by the spectral camera, we can decide that this is our ideal stage of maturity. In broccoli, the stage of maturity is very important. Okay, similarly in case of cabbage also, similarly in case of cauliflower also. But broccoli is very particular for that purpose. So once if you harvest little bit early, the buds will remain very small and your harvest head will be small. So your yield will be less. So farmer's income will be affected. But if you allow it little bit more, your buds will remain bigger size and some of the buds may open. At that time, the market value of head has gone. So you will be not going to get any price. So that's why it is very critical for the broccoli that you have to harvest at right stage. So how to find out in a big hectare area or all that? So one thing is that you can take up the spectral images and all that, and you decide that one. And once you decide that one, you fix the parameters and all that, and then you take your camera system or you through any kind of drone or something like that, then that definitely that will pick up that this much of block or this much of plants are ready for harvesting. So you need not to focus so much on that one, then immediately you can start your harvesting or you can go pinpoint for that purpose. Okay, so that is used for that purpose. Okay, Internet of Things, you can say it is used for so many purposes. You can say that artificial intelligence also. So what we do, mostly we talk about big data in horticulture. What artificial intelligence requires? So you see that many of the politicians also talk about that we need data, and India, China, they have data. So many countries have data for different purposes. Okay, we have population data, somebody maybe have some other data. So data is important for that purposes. So in that we need some quality data, quality honest data on the plant system, plant phenotyping data, environmental data, abiotic and biotic stress data. If that are available with us for these crops or for some other crops also, we can take advantage of AI. if we are not having data, or I can say genuinely quality data, if we do not have that one, we cannot use anything. If that is important for that purpose. As I gave an example on the previous slide also, if you are not taking correct pictures of the broccoli and giving to the system, then you cannot use that one for making any kind of model or any kind of software. So that is important for that purpose. Okay. So you can see that just coming to that one, mechanization of the cabbage, because time is approaching. So in this one, you can see that as at the time of sowing also, I was talking about machines are available. Customized machines are also available for sowing or transplanting in small areas we can do. And for harvesting also, we have so many harvesters, because now the big challenge is coming from the big countries after opening of the markets and all that, WTO and all that. Now you can see that anybody having a bigger hectares or larger areas, they will be going to take advantage, because now earlier their farms were remain vacant or for crops which may like pastures and all that, but now they are putting the crops which are marketable or exportable. So now you can say, suppose thousands of hectare area is under a country or a farm is being grown a cabbage or something like that, then they can use easily these kind of machines for transplanting, for raising seedlings, and for transplanting, for spraying and all that, for harvesting, then loading and grading, sorting, and then exporting to some of the markets. So they will be going to take more advantage as compared to the other ones. So now in our country also, you can say that shifting of labor from the agriculture sector to another sector is very prominent now. When I was reading during the graduation and all that, we were reading around 40% or something like that. Now this population has come to below 20%. So means that this much of percentage is decreasing. So we need some kind of replacements. Either we can leave agriculture, or we can do some kind of, that is not possible at all. So it means that we need mechanization, and for that protected this kind of harvesters and all that are very important. Okay. So in cabbage also, in broccoli also, in case of your cauliflowers also, this kind of mechanized harvestings are available. There are so many advantages for that purpose. You can see that listed here, that they will be having the perfect stage of the harvesting, and the damages are less, or maybe you can say that that saving the labor and all that. Okay. So there are so many advantages for that purpose, and there are so many speeds also. That you can see 10 tons of the cabbage can be harvested in 1 hour. Okay. And in some of the, you can harvest up to 9 tons of the cabbage. So how much yield from 1 hectare area? You can say that 33 or maybe 40, 50 tons. So you can say in 4 or 5 hours, we can complete the harvesting of 1 hectare area. If you are doing labor, then how much time it will take? Then if you are doing labor, how many knives, how many times now knife is cutting your heads, means cabbage head. So it means that is affecting that also. So now these mechanizations and all that have that advantage for that purpose, and we have to think for that purpose also. Okay, I think I have covered little bit most of the parts. I have given improved varieties from IRI. I have given some kind of new advancements through the horticulture 4.0, and some advancements in cabbage harvesting and all that. I discussed some kind of transplanting also, and some kind of basic understanding about these crops, what kind of climatic requirements are also there. I think this much of I was trying to discuss. If some more points are there, you can contact me. You can ask me in this class.
Hello.
Yeah, thank you. Please. Yes.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, this is from Dr. Jambamma, Professor Jaishankar Agriculture University, Post Harvest Technology, sir, my specialization. Working as assistant professor.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, related to the broccoli, we have two varieties, sir. The color wise, one is purple variety and the other one is green variety.
Yeah.
Related to the its cultivation practice, sir, whether it is only suitable to grow in the protected cultivation like shade net and polyhouse, or will it be grown outside the protected cultivation?
Actually, broccoli comes very well in outside, ma'am. There is no issue on that part in winter season. But as I was talking about, suppose temperature is high, does not mean meet the requirement of 25 or below 20, means 20 degrees Celsius, 26 to 20 degrees Celsius. In that condition, for giving that temperature, you need to give some kind of shade. Second thing, it is a vegetative produce, does not need any kind of pollination, nothing required. So if space is available inside polyhouse, these crops can be grown there also. For that purpose, all the crops can be grown inside the polyhouse. Sometimes we face challenge for cauliflower if light availability is less, because cauliflower is sensitive towards light. If light availability is not proper, it will not form proper head. Okay, so these crops can be grown inside also. They are fit for outside actually, but they can be grown inside also, provided you meet the temperature requirement.
Okay, temperature is a mandate for a broccoli, sir. With respect to
is very important for broccoli also, for cauliflower also, because these crops are thermosensitive for transition from vegetative to cutting or heading.
Okay. With respect to commercial value, sir, which one is fetching more commercial value? Whether broccoli or
see, broccoli prices remain very high actually as compared to cauliflower. But in some of the pockets, if somebody don't know how to cook or how to use it, then broccoli gets some problem. Otherwise, broccoli prices sometimes reach around 400 rupees kg also in Delhi.
Yes, yes.
So, but in cauliflower, you will find up to maybe 80 rupees or maybe below 100 rupees only most of times. Otherwise, sometimes it is 10 to 12 rupees also, 15 rupees also.
Yes, yes, sir.
But broccoli prices never come below 30 or 40.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So related to the pesticide residues, especially what we heard when as a house cooker for me. See, whenever I am buying in a cauliflower, I think it have some kind of a pesticides residues will be retained in that particular flower. So cleaning will be in if we are not cleaning in a proper way, it cause some kind of a health effect. That fear will be there with those who are knowing the related to the pesticide residues. Related to my question is that, sir, whether this broccoli related any studies are there, how much percentage of the pesticide residues as of now, the status of the percentage which is coming with the broccoli specifically for broccoli, sir.
Actually,
pesticide residues.
Actually, what is our job is to train the farmers first. That your question is specific to the kitchen actually, but I will take it a little bit on a larger perspective.
Yes, sir. Specific to kitchen and specific to broccoli, I'm asking, because broccoli is consumed without cooking as in a salad.
I got your point, but I will take it in a different way also. Coming to your straight question, that our job is to train the farmers that in these crops, particularly in North India or in hill region where winters are there, insect pests and diseases are negligible. Because when we see that the pathogen or insect need a particular temperature for their life cycle. So if that temperature is not available, they will be not going to challenge your crop. So if we are producing in winter season, whatever we are producing nowadays, it is not having any kind of pesticide load, and farmers need not to put any pesticide also, because during the winter season, the major pests like diamondback moth, Spodoptera, your cabbage fly, these are all not any issue at all in these crops, because Spodoptera comes during the warmer temperatures. Your diamondback moth come in February, March, and that comes in a hill region. It comes in July, August months. So during the December, January, and February months, beginning of the February, no pest come. So need not to spray any kind of insecticides. This thing, and then if you are putting inside the net houses and all that, there is no need of spraying of any chemical. This is my submission on that part. Now coming to the particular point. See, in China, nowadays, people are going for loose cuts actually in cauliflower. Loose cut have an advantage. When we are spraying also, second thing is that when to spray, has to find out when to spray. Second thing,
Yes.
in crop also when to spray. So if what we are prescribing to the farmers that you spray whatever chemical or whatever pesticide if required before head or cud initiation. Because after cud initiation, there is only 10 or 15 days initiation to maturity. So that will be not going to save your crop. So whatever you are doing, you manage before that. So it means that once cud initiation is there, after that, if somebody is not spraying, in that there will be hardly any load of that crop, that insecticide or pesticide. Why? What we are prescribing to the farmers, because in these crops there is no systemic insect, like only a systemic sprays required. You can say only aphid is issue. So aphid comes in March month. So not required any systemic. Only contact insecticides is required. Your diamond growth, your spodoptera, your cabbage fly. So what we prescribe only systemic contact. So contact spray does not go to your cud because you did not spray after cud initiation. So whatever cud you are eating, in that hardly you will have any kind of pesticide load. But sometimes farmers use access, particularly in tropical belt and all that. If they are killing that kind of problems, we should say them that after cud initiation, there should be no pesticide spray because it will be not going to save your crop. Straight point. Now coming to your point, in broccoli, the load will be relatively less. Why? Because the cud is little bit loose in that part. When you are washing also, surface is washing properly. In cauliflower also, if you are washing it properly, that surface load will be less because when the cud will be of garden pea size or little bit more, at that time we are spraying and after that it is growing by cell division and all that, taking a big proliferation. So load will remain relatively less on that part. So my suggestion is that if some kind of hair is there, that should be neutralized by washing it properly with warm water without cutting of the head properly. First you wash it properly with a little bit warm water and then you can take its knob, because what we are cutting, that is knob only. Then you can wash it twice. So that will be cleaning it. But most of the North India during winters, you can see maybe not having that much of load, what people are fearing.
Sir, very good
Okay,
morning.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Elaborative and very eye-opening explanation, sir. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Good
can I
morning,
ask a
sir.
question, sir?
Good,
Yeah, please.
Sir, good morning. Myself,
morning.
Dr. Ranjit Chatterjee. I'm from
Sir.
UBKB, West Bengal. Sir, nowadays microgreens are getting popular and microgreens of cold crops are very demanding, particularly
Yes.
broccoli. So
Yeah.
is there any variety where we can go for seed production in the subtropical region that can be used for microgreen purpose?
Very good question, sir. For your information and information of all the participants, that Pusa has developed one purple broccoli variety, Pusa purple broccoli 1. In 2024, we have notified it to the CBRC, and you can take up that variety. This is an open pollinated variety. You can take it from our IRI, New Delhi, from our Division of Vegetable Science head through JDR. You can write, we will give it. You can multiply it and you can sell. And NSC also we have given them. So they are also doing. So it can be done nicely, sir. There is no issue. It is a subtropical variety. We have taken the Palam Vichitra, which was a typical temperate type material, and we developed. Dr. Kalia was the leader in that part. So we now have this variety. You can take it. Now we are putting another green type also. That is in the name of Pusa broccoli 13. So that is also there. That will be submitted to State Variety Release Committee. Hopefully this year it will be released. So that will be available. You can take up that also, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir, for sharing this very good and very effective information. Thank you, sir.
good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Sir, do colored varieties of cabbage holds same cultivational practices like non-colored ones, sir?
Yeah, cultivation practices are same. Only thing is that colored one, yeah, red cabbage takes little bit more time for maturity. So only that
Okay.
part is to care. So means normal takes around 180 days, only 75 to 80 days, and this red cabbage takes little bit 20 50 days extra. So only that part is, otherwise there is no difference.
Okay, sir. Another question is, do broccoli can be cultivated in South India, sir? Ours is the Telangana state.
Ma'am, our variety Pusa purple broccoli and Pusa broccoli 13 can be tried in that part because they are developed for a little bit warmer climate. So they are producing seed in plains. So they may be producing seed in your center also. So you can try these two varieties.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Excuse me.
Only provided that you take up the your climate pattern, in which months this temperature is matching, like 20 degrees Celsius. I think in
Winter, sir.
some areas there where this temperature requirement can be met.
Oh,
Excuse me, sir.
thank
Good
you,
morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, I have a question regarding this broccoli also. Sir,
Yes.
is there any temperature threshold why this bolting happens when it comes to broccoli crop? And the second question is, are there any cultivars which show some tolerance when it comes to bolting if we go for late planting? In conditions like Kashmir, I'm speaking from Kashmir.
See, one variety from yours, that university, that Sere Kashmir is there, one broccoli variety, but that also is not very fit for late planting and all that. First, you asked that
Yes, sir.
any threshold. See, as I was talking about, a temperature requirement, if that 16 to 20 degrees Celsius temperature is not there, and it is getting little bit low temperature at the early stage, it will be going to bolt actually. Because it is a genetics of the one gene. I hope you understand it, that FLC gene is there. And that is related to DNA methylation system. A epigenetic mechanism is there that is regulating that one. So we cannot change that part, but we can select the cultivars. So now which cultivars you can take up? So for if commercial purposes and all that, we do not have that kind of variety. One variety is there, Palam Hartika is there. You can try Palam Hartika and Palam Kanchan also, but Palam Hartika is true broccoli type. You can try that one because that is a late type variety. That takes around 120 days in plains. So that requires, that can stand up to low temperature and it form good head. Another thing is that you can take up some private sector materials also, because in India broccoli breeding is very recent actually. We do not have so many hybrids on that part. Now Katran station also released one hybrid, IRI Katran station. So we can take up that also. You can write to IRI regional station Katran, Dr. Chandra Prakash sir is there. You can write. They will be going to send you some seeds. You test that one. And second thing, Palam Kanchan from Himachal Pradesh Agriculture University. These two you can try, and you take some private sector materials also as this reference. So you will be going to find out either in this 4 or 5 you can find out 1 or 2 for your region. That is my submission.
Is there any cultural practice by which we can reduce this bolting? I mean, a strong indication of doing something.
One suggestion on that part, that initially after transplanting, if plant lacks nitrogen supply, it will be going to